Hello and welcome to Patched. I'm your host Paul James, and today I'm joined by the gold leader himself,
Hello.
David Rowe.
How's it going?
You've met David before. He guested on a Patched episode.
I think it was 30 something.
12 months ago, give or take.
Yeah, about 12 months ago.
It was a mess because we changed the whole labelling of each episode. They're all now standalone things, so it's a mess. But you were talking about MMOs that day because I don't know shit about MMOs, and I learned a little bit from that thing. But we're here to learn from you again because you have this in the background. Here is his impressive setup where he does a whole bunch of capture stuff and streaming stuff for Twitch.
So I recently, my job ended that I was doing, and I thought, I've got some free time. I'm going to take a little bit of time off work. So I thought I'll give streaming a shot, and I got into it 2 months ago now. I've reached 75 followers as of today, last time I checked, which is phenomenal because that's 75 people who have gone, I might watch this guy again. I was streaming 2 days ago to 44 people concurrently, which was just absurd to me. I don't know why.
When you start, when we get a patch episode that gets like 50 hits, I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
So,
no, it's good.
So
like that.
that's all. And then I better get insider episodes to get over 1,000. I'm like, what? Why? Clearly, I used the right keyword.
Yeah, it's like good keyword, good content.
Yeah, you start learning about it. But anyway.
Yeah.
So those subs are slowly trickling up. But how'd you decide to get into it in the first place?
I was talking to a couple of mates. One of my mates, Relthan, also known as Jason, who I've been known for a while now. We started streaming together almost around the same time. I got another friend who joined in. But yeah, like it was kind of a case of he's a dad. He promotes himself as guy. He games and streams when he can because he's obviously got the dad stuff like you'll know about shortly.
I'll know that very soon. In case you haven't been following, I'm going to be a dad in a couple months. But anyway, I think that's been discussed somewhere. I think Damo's not too subtly hinted at that. So anyway.
Yeah, now I have too. But and basically it's like a case of I love playing video games. The reason I started streaming, it's not about a full-time job for me. I work and I'm planning on working full-time while I stream. It's not about making it my career and everything. It's about having fun. Like the thing I love most about it is like I've met this guy from Lithuania. I've met a guy from America. I've got like
and
3.
they're all streaming.
Well, no, a couple of them just come every time.
Just in chat.
Yeah, a couple of guys that show up every time I'm streaming. They just say, "Hey, just talk shit all the time," and it's like this guy's 7'3". He started streaming now. I knew he watched me for a month and a bit. Now he's streaming and he's pretty good at it himself. This other guy called Julius J. He mutual love for mixed martial arts, so we talk about that. He loves video games. We talk about that. So I've got my mates, one of my mates, Morley or Yelrom, who shows up all the time.
Yeah, I remember Morley. I met him in person. The other ones I have no idea because they live in Lithuania. But Morley I know. So.
Yeah, and my favourite part has just been talking to these people, playing the game, because whilst I'll get distracted and get worse at the game, or I'll just be focusing on chat and I'll forget the game's even there, and it's like, who cares? It's just been fun, and I've been told, like, a mate of mine's told me that I love basketball, as yourself would. I played a lot of NBA, and my NBA streams have been pretty successful. And it's like, people have told me, I don't like basketball games, or I don't really follow basketball, but your stream's enjoyable. And I'm like, okay, thank you.
So then they're trying to essentially encourage you to try and take what you're doing and drop it into genre X, whatever the hell it is they're interested in.
Yeah, like one of the things Damo said to me was, he knows
nothing. Player too.
Yeah, and he knows nothing about basketball really, but he's like, you can make it in such layman terms that most people can understand it, because again, I, like yourself, follow basketball, and I love basketball. I love mixed martial arts. Those are my 2 favourite things to do outside of gaming. And like Twitch has allowed me to meet all these people. There's a guy called Haggard 1985 who I stream with. We stream together, help each other out. He lives in California or something, but
but I mean, in terms of your streaming and helping one like that, that works okay because you can host his stream while he hosts yours, and you're not actually going to clash because of the time zones.
And I think one thing people never think about is it's not about working. It's not about doing it all yourself. You have to work with other people. Like I've got my mate Jay, my mate Pete. I've got like my friend Morley, who doesn't stream but will at some point. But he always helps me. He helps me with tech. He helps me with research stuff that I may not be like fully knowledgeable on. Jay and me help each other out all the time. Pete as well. And then I meet these other people. There's a guy from Poland, one of my favourite people to watch stream, called Cloudy95. I spent a bit of time talking to him on his stream, and he popped over to mine one day. The guy's got 1,000 followers just about. Followed me and was like, I love your stream. And I'm like, dude, yeah, thank you. And it's always cool like that. Like, I've got some guys that have like 2,000-3,000 followers who've hit follow on me, and it's like,
cool. Don't know what you're seeing in me, but that's sweet, thanks.
And like, my goal isn't to have 400,000 viewers or followers or anything. It's just like, for me, it's about building a small community that I can just have some fun with and play games with. I might only do this for a couple of years because life may happen. I may get a job that I love that may take my time away from me. I work in transport, so transport is always very sucks all your time away. But yeah,
on the flip side though, it could go the other way, and all of a sudden this booms.
Yeah, like if I boom for some reason, suddenly I'm making enough to live
day to day.
Yeah, then I'll potentially something I'll do full time. Like I've invested.
Show off some of your gear.
So first thing I did,
the Rode mic, I swear by. I use this myself.
Rode mics are amazing. I've got the Rode NT USB. Yeah, which is perfect because look, people tell you there's all these streamer kits that you'll see, or you buy these equipment for streamers. You can get this really high quality, expensive one, or you can get this good quality, cheaper one. But it's like with mics, it's hard to mess them up. As long as you go a good brand, you get a good mic. I spent $200 on this mic. It came with a pop filter. You can test out the audio before you set everything up. Perfect. Obviously, your computer has to be able to run everything. This computer isn't. It's got $3,000 worth of tech in it. It's got water cooling, dual graphics cards.
I'll be back in a sec.
All that sort of stuff, but that's not something I just built for streaming. This is something I've built for the past year and a half.
Gaming anyway.
Yeah, like this was a gaming setup before it was ever a streaming setup, and it's got all the RGB and the color, but that's what comes with it these days. And you have to have a computer that, because you're not just running the game, you're now running software that's rendering and recording this game, but also live streaming. So your internet has to balance out. Yeah. Now, the reason I started...
This area's only just got the NBN.
Yeah. You'll notice I started streaming 2 days after I got the NBN. And for anyone who watches this in another country, the NBN is our... We basically went from dial-up to let's download a movie in a day now instead of a week. Which is...
Yeah, like a little bit harsh, but like the connection's pretty solid. Yeah. But it's still, it doesn't scratch the surface on certain stuff that I've been in Singapore, and holy hell. Yeah. Their 5G connection just...
I was in America last year and I was just like, please sir, may I have some of your internet?
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's stuff like that. Like the other thing I did, I play a lot of console games. My Nintendo Switch.
Because consoles are the best.
Yeah, consoles. I'm a console gamer first, a PC gamer second. But again, PC gaming, I can't go into MMOs again. I've done that.
We've done an MMO episode, but go check that out. I'll link it in the thing below.
So this is the Ava Media Live Gamer Extreme, because the title sells everything, right?
Yeah.
But the reason I bought this is it's $200, the same as my microphone, and that's not cheap. So like, don't think I'm just saying, it's only $200. It's not cheap stuff. Like, this is investments I made because I knew it would improve the quality of what I'm doing. And this here contains HDMI in, HDMI out, USB 3, and a component cable, meaning I can do any generation console I've got.
If you need.
Nintendo 64 can work off this thing.
Sweet.
Yeah, you could do PlayStation 1. Like, I know a lot of people have got retro consoles, and that I swear by it. It's also got audio and auxiliary in as well, which is, niche for anyone who wants to run mics through it or something. And the lag is, again, the thing you want to watch with the graphics, with the capture card, is delay.
Yeah.
Because you're technically running the source feed directly through another source, and the delay is so minute on that. I've had friends come and look at it and just no one can see a delay.
No, I follow that sort of thing, because so a little bit of inside baseball with some of my capture stuff that I do for Player 2. Like, I don't do any live stuff because I just don't have the setup necessarily at home to be able to kind of deal with that sort of thing. But I do, some of the Player 2 plays and those bits and pieces, and I've only got my gaming laptop.
Yeah.
Only 2 USB points.
Yeah.
One of which is consumed by the Rode.
Yep.
The other one with the capture card. So all of us, and I've still got to fit a webcam in there as well.
Yep.
So the problem that I've got then is I have to use a hub.
Yep.
And by using the hub, all of a sudden I create myself a delay. So every time I go to edit, something I've captured afterwards, I have to separate the audio, line it up, drop it, sync it there, and then cut the video in around it. It's a nightmare. Yeah. But if you've got the rig to be able to do it, then it makes the whole thing a lot easier.
It's like I've got 1 to 7 or 8 USB ports in it, and I haven't added any extra. It's just what's come. It's just stuff I've accumulated over time. And luckily, because I think my computer. Let's just say the cabling mess that I'm not going to let you guys see for fear of my own OCD, but that is behind there is ridiculous. Like, I've done my best to hide everything above board, but man, the amount of cables that I run through there, because I've got my PlayStation.
Yeah, all down behind this.
Like, I've got my PlayStation, I've got my router, I've got, that stuff's off camera, I've got my Nintendo Switch, microphones, headsets, stuff like that, and this is, the one tip I'll give to anyone when they start out, and this is advice that was given to me, and this is advice I will give to everyone, audio quality is the biggest thing, because visually, like, I can watch someone streaming on like 576p, 420p, stuff like that, because whilst it might be granulated, it might be small, I don't need to look at 1080p or 4K all the time.
For the most part, you're still there to watch the game and then just talk along, or interact with the person. So you don't need the best quality picture for them. You just need to be able to hear them clearly.
Like a lot of people I watch that they have these lower quality streams, but they have this really good quality mic, and because of that, like again with your podcasting and that, it's audio.
Simple little camera.
Yeah, and it's audio. Like, it's a really nice quality camera with with
a Rode mic.
Yeah, and since the audio is good, you don't and it's a podcast, you don't necessarily need to watch it, but it's fun to listen to.
Yeah.
And my old mic was just a headset mic. Breathing into it.
Yeah, just the normal stuff that it picks up.
And I'm sitting there like.
And the Rode can do that too. Like, this thing is incredibly sensitive.
Yeah,
like it can pick up a lot. It also does a very good job. Like, start speaking outside about this sort of range from it, and all of a sudden it doesn't hear.
But like, I can sit this thing right here, and my speakers are sitting underneath my screen. Won't pick up any of my background. Won't have any feedback because of the direction as well, which is very important. Always check what sort of direction your mic picks up sound from when you buy one. I'm not necessarily saying buy this mic. I'm just saying buy this mic.
He's looking for his cut, Rode.
Rode, hit me up. Sponsorship, I take him. Nah, but it's like, I've had people say my cat will be like locked out of this end of the house. He'll be sitting in the lounge and he'll want to see me. They can hear my cat. That's how well this thing picks it up sometimes if I position the right way.
Yeah.
And it's like, people go, oh, your cat wants you, and I go, how do you know? And they're like, we can hear you. We can hear it all. It's like, I don't have lighting or anything. Like, there's nothing. Like, what I've got here is a capture card, a mic. Obviously, I'm running 3 monitors here, which I accumulated over time. It's not like I went out and bought 3 monitors for streaming. But if you are streaming, I highly recommend more than 1 monitor. Yeah. Because you'll run...
One to see your chat and one to...
Like, you'll have your stream. I use Streamlabs OBS, which I'll mention more in a second, but I have my Streamlabs, I have my chat, I have my game and everything, and then over here I might have anything supplemental. Like, I like to keep a notepad open, because if someone stops by or someone mentions something or says, check this out later, or do a quick note.
It in there.
Yeah, because I like to...
Because it'd be a nightmare to have to trawl back through the chat and find what it is that was said.
Sometimes it can get... Like, I've had streams where I've had 4,000 messages go through a stream. I've had streams where I've had 250. I'm not scrolling through 4,000 messages. Yeah. It's like... That's why I have this one open. It's just simple notepads, note-taking, and people might think, taking notes, you don't really need to, but... I'll take that note next time that person pops back into the stream.
Those sort of things are important because you remember, like, that's how you foster a community, is remember bits and pieces and then bring those up. It's how you would interact with anyone, regardless whether it's gaming or not.
Yeah, it's like, I had a kid that viewed my stream and said, do you play RuneScape? And I'm like, man, I played RuneScape. RuneScape was my, entry to MMO gaming when I was young.
Now it's bloody on mobile or something.
Yeah, and he's just like, do you have a character? I'm like, here's your character. He's like, check mine out. And I'm like, cool, I will at the end of the stream, punched in there, checked it out. He came back to my next stream and I'm like, dude, I checked your character out, nice job and that. He's like, didn't think you'd do that. And I'm like, you asked me to.
Now those sort of things would get harder and harder the bigger someone gets.
Yeah. Like, imagine Ninja trying to do that.
You having to make less and less. You just wouldn't be making those sort of promises because you can't.
No, it's like
unless it's someone that you just you constantly see and they're hitting, like in the case of someone like Ninja, Twitter and YouTube and Twitch and every other bloody source of social media you might use.
Yeah.
You see that person over and over, then maybe you do it because it's like they're the hardest of the hardcore, I guess. But
it's like, one thing I also got told is make sure you have your socials in order. Like, I'm not a big social media guy. I very rarely post on Facebook. My Twitter is a sea of, like, I might post once every 6 months.
Yeah. Possibly the last thing you did was tweet out when the last episode of this went up.
And that's the thing, like, I have started using Twitter more since I did this. I occasionally promote streams depending on what I'm doing. But, like, it's a matter of you tag things like there's Twitch stream or retweet stream, and these guys have few thousand, 10,000 followers, and they'll retweet people who are streaming. A big thing is helping small streamers. A lot of what Twitch is about, which is why I've mentioned these people that I've met, is because it's all about helping each other and growing together, not growing yourself. Which, again...
The old rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah. And, like, I've had people that, you know, they might take over you in followers and be huge, but, you know, they remember back to you. Like, I got a couple of people that I talk to all the time, and it's... The help they provide me technically, advice on how to make my stream layout better and all that is astounding, because the quality of my stream when I started versus what it is now is the audio's clear, there's no buffering, my setup, you know.
And sometimes these sorts of things are things you yourself, like regardless of who you are, whether you're biggest or smallest, that you can't even necessarily recognise because you're in the moment. So one of the things that I didn't discover, and I ended up passing on to everyone, Player 2 was making video for us, the little intro thing that we have, that if you've watched this episode, you've seen the first 7 seconds or whatever it is, where the little Player 2 logo bounces all over the place and then hones in on the middle. The balance between the audio of that versus then the content, whatever was being made, it was way louder. So all of a sudden you got people that have, like, they hear the intro, they crank the volume down, and then you start to talk because it's got the recording or whatever, and it's too low, and they crank it back up again. And then all of a sudden, like, they have it cranked up, and then they get to the end, and that volume's really high, and they get blown away by the thing. And it's the sort of thing you don't necessarily recognise even in the editing process, because you're listening to it all in like little separate chunks. But when it's assembled as a whole, and it's someone else listening to it the way they would listen to or watch anything, all of a sudden you're like, oh, right.
It's like
I'm working on a little project at the moment. I've had to. It might even be live by the time. I'm not going to say anything yet. But like, trying to monitor the volumes of that, I've gone and taken it and I've sat down and put it on the TV, and I've just put the volume at what I would normally listen to, like if I'm watching the footy, and I'm happy with it where that's at. I'm like, alright, I've learnt this thing now from things that went wrong.
Yeah, it's like my OBS has got 6 different scene setups, scene collections, which is one set for consoles, because I know how the console games feed in versus my mic volume and everything. I've got one for Clone Hero, which is Guitar Hero, which is always fun to play. I've got setups for just basic D&D streams, which is Dungeons and Dragons, and then I've got not like just regular any game setups, because I've got all the volume setups are different for everything. Yeah. Like when I play D&D, there's really no background sound, so it's just people talking. Versus Clone Hero, which is a lot about with Guitar Hero, which is a lot about you're listening to a song, but you're also listening to someone talk. So it's about getting the person just above the song without getting the song too low, and it's a lot of tweaking, which is the reason I learned about the buffering issue, which I couldn't figure out, is because people started watching me and saying, oh, set you this to this, set you that to that, and it was my mate Morley again who did all of that for me. And once the buffering went away, it was just a clear, and I don't stream in 1080p because a lot of people won't view it in that. Because of their internet or whatever. And I look at it and go, I capture in 1080p, it codes down to 720p, and then people can, obviously watch it from 720p.
They can scale down if they want.
Yeah, and I find it's not using tons of my bandwidth, so everything's fine. I'm probably playing a game that might be always online, like every game these days. Yeah. And it's
Anthem next year, Destiny, whatever it happens to be.
Yeah, and it's just a case of like Fallout 76. Yeah, can't wait.
Sorry.
Or Fallout 76. I can't wait for. There's a stream this shit.
Yeah, well, that's going to be always online. Yeah. So we'll have to play that one together at some point. So I need some help getting into Fallout, because 3 and 4 didn't grab me, but
I'm in the same boat.
And New Vegas, but this. I guess the change of formula, the fact that it is your shared world experience, kind of has my interest in more.
I'm currently seeing where everyone goes. I might be getting it on PC, because I've got a lot of people that are going, let's buy it on PC. and I'm just like, but I usually would obviously buy it on PlayStation, and it's a case of I'll just go with like Monster Hunter.
Go with the
like Monster Hunter World. This is my biggest piece of advice, that don't play what's popular just because it's popular. Play what you love, play what you want.
Because there's a million people that are doing it.
It's like, there's hundreds of thousands of people who stream Fortnite. If you love Fortnite and you want to stream Fortnite. If you want to stream Fortnite because it's a popular game, it's not gonna go well, because you're not gonna be truly invested in enjoying that game.
Yeah.
I don't stream Fortnite because Battle Royale games don't appeal to me. They're not fun for me. I stream NBA because I'm a huge basketball fan. I stream Enter the Gungeon and like Hollow Knight and
One of the games of the year, Hollow Knight.
Yeah, a myriad of indie games because I love indie games. I stream like D&D because I love Dungeons and Dragons, and the list goes on.
So let's actually talk about kind of your schedule a little bit, because like how long has it been now? Maybe 2 weeks since I kind of popped in for the first time. Because I think you maybe put something up on your personal Facebook. Or
I think I might have shared like that somewhere. Yeah.
And I'll give him a follow. Follow, sub. No, sub requires money, doesn't it?
Yeah, follow's the free one.
Although I'll give him a follow just because he's a mate, I want to try and help him out. And I think you were doing D&D at the time.
Yeah, so...
But what does that schedule look like? Because you're fitting in D&D, which is not a video game, it's a tabletop game.
Yeah, basically a podcast tabletop game. And so my schedule is this. I give myself 2 days off of it every week. I treat it like I would any job. Like Sunday, I never work on Sundays for actual work or streaming. I make sure I have one solid day off where it's just me not thinking about anything for a day. But then I start the week off. On Monday, I will stream either midday or 7:30 p.m. at night, and depending on what I'm up to, what I'm feeling, what work's been like that day. And I usually stream basketball on a Monday. One thing I learned after my first few weeks where I burnt out a little bit was you don't just stream the same game, because otherwise, A, I don't want to be that guy that streams the same game all the time. It's not me.
Yeah.
And B, I kind of got bored. Really bored
fair.
And burnt out. So my schedule, and I'm still fine-tuning it, obviously I'm new, but Tuesdays is always D&D, which is on hold at the moment for technical difficulties, we'll say. We're going through a period where we need to sort some stuff out off campaign. And then Wednesdays, I try to stream like a Nintendo Switch indie game, or...
There's 20 or 30 of them per week, as Nintendo's recently come out to say.
Yeah, Jesus
morons. But anyway.
Christ. But yeah, it's like I also do...
Good luck finding a good game on that platform that's not AAA anymore.
Yeah, I know, right? It's so many. But
anyway.
Yeah. And then I might do Jurassic World as a game I want to try and incorporate weekly, because I love the game. Thursdays I take off. A mate of mine does his D&D stream, so I try to support him fully on that day, and I needed a second day off. Today's Friday. Well, sorry, date of recording is a Friday. Yeah, today I'm planning on streaming either more Into the Gungeon or something on the Switch, and I might even do a little bit of another game at the end of it. I try never to stream more than 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Because it's a case of usually when I hit that 3-4 hour mark, I'm sitting there going,
I've been sitting down for a long time.
Yeah, I need to go up and I've got my heavy bag in the other room. I need to go and kickbox or something, and I need to stretch myself out, or it's starting to drain me, and I don't want to be the guy that's sitting there 8 hours and going, yeah, cool.
Well, in terms of, again, we keep going back to the community aspect. The engagement with the community just goes down the toilet because you've got no energy left.
Yeah, and a big thing is I treat this like I would any date or would any outing. Before I stream, I shower.
You're going to wine me and dine me too?
Yeah. Hey, after the stream goes off, we're off to the movies, and you better put out tonight.
My wife, with her upcoming kid, probably won't approve, but let's not tell her. This goes live somewhere down the line. She won't have to know.
No, it's a secret. But yeah, so I'll shower, I'll make myself feel fresh, because you feel good, and it just translates in the way you present yourself and that. And it's just little things like that. That may not work for everyone. Everyone's different, and my advice might not be the set advice for you, but it's a thing of, this is what's working for me. This is advice I've received from other streamers, and the sound quality thing has just helped me immensely.
Yeah.
The capture card may not benefit you, but it benefits me greatly.
It depends on what you're trying to do.
Yeah, if you're a PC gamer, don't get a capture card. If you're a console gamer, get a goddamn capture card.
Need one.
Yeah. But
unless you want to do bloody Twitch from your console, which is, from all reports, I don't know. I haven't tried to do it. I've heard it's not great.
I did it for 2 weeks, and then I went. You know what? Savings, come at me. I'm getting this.
I've heard it's not great using the inbuilt.
Oh look, I've got a mate that uses it through Xbox, which is a lot easier because Windows integrates really well with it. But at the same time, he's still going to get a capture card because it's still better.
It's still better again.
But in saying this, don't go out and just buy this stuff. Don't go out and buy it right at the start. Test the waters. I've got a guy that's streaming who's just using someone that 7 foot tree guy I mentioned. He uses the PlayStation streaming stuff.
Is he really tall as well? Just so
I don't know. He doesn't have a webcam or
that'd
anything.
be real disappointing if he was short.
He's from Texas, so they could be. But I'm thinking he is, because he's like, you're huge, and I'm like, not really. I'm only 6'7".
which is still about 4
Yeah,
foot
sorry.
tall to me, but anyway.
Yeah, but nah.
Sorry, 4 inches taller than me.
Well,
4 foot, yeah.
I just processed in my head. You've got
I'm
really
about
short
10 years
page. Yeah. But and it's just like he just uses the PlayStation stuff. He has a mic plugged in, no webcam. But that's what I was at the start.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky enough that I had the savings to invest this stuff, but it's not just willy-nilly investments. It's like I haven't got a green screen or anything. I'm not just going to buy it for the sake of it. It will come. It's on the list. I've got my goals. I don't use donations. I fund this all myself because I don't want to be one of those guys or one of those girls that lives off donations, and it's all about the donations. It's out whoring yourself out.
At the moment, you're still just doing it for the fun of it, as opposed to trying to make something of it.
And my end goal is never.
Job.
Yeah, my end goal is not. I don't see it as an end goal of a career. I see it as a lot of fun, something that I'm passionate about. Because I've done some reviews for you in the past and stuff. I love video games. I have for a long portion of my life, and this is a way for me to not just sit there on the couch. This is just talking to someone.
Give back a little bit.
Yeah, interaction. Like, promote a game. I know there's a game I played, a really small $7 game on the Switch called Kamiko.
I've heard the name.
It is the cutest, funnest little game. I tweeted the developer and said I was streaming. He retweeted it and everything.
Yeah.
Because he loves when people play his game. I was the only person streaming that game at the time. No one else was. I know 4 people who watched me that went out and bought the game because it was $7 and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And in the end, that's all you're doing. You want to help those small developers. You want to help those people.
Give them a leg up.
And like, I've helped them with 4 purchases. Not a lot, but still that's 4 purchases, 4 people who might go, hey, check this game out.
Yeah, or check this streamer out. Or what? Yeah,
and that
got me onto this. What's he going to play next, sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's the end goal. Like, I
better keep him on your toes now, mate.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I make sure I stream what I enjoy. And that's the biggest thing. I'm not going to stream a game because it's popular. I'm going to stream it because I enjoy it.
If it happens to be popular as well, fine.
Yeah.
But
oh, look, you won't get as many...
You were just talking about Fallout. So.
Yeah, Fallout. Fallout will be hella popular, but I'll still stream it because I cannot wait to get on board on that.
That's fine. But you're doing what you want to do.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. And don't be afraid to have 0 viewers. Again, it's not... Viewers... And this is another thing. The viewers don't owe you anything. It's not their right to be there or their job to be there. It's their choice to be there.
Yeah.
Don't expect to... I don't expect any of my friends, I don't expect anyone to show up to my streams. If they choose to, if they've got spare time, thanks, hell yeah.
Thanks for giving me your time.
Yeah, thanks for giving me 10 minutes, an hour, 5 minutes, 2 hours, a whole stream. It's up to you. Like, the viewers don't owe you anything. You've got to put on a show for them. You've got to give them, you want to make their time they're choosing to spend with you enjoyable. And, it's not about harassing people saying, you've got to show up, I'm streaming. It's about just saying, cool. I use Discord.
Here I am.
Yeah.
Come along if you want.
The Twitch notification, the Discord notification goes out. And, I'm not going to show up to all my friends' streams.
See, I think it was about a year ago where I had up until about a year ago where I had this really cynical sort of take on streaming. Like, why? Go play the game yourself, stop watching someone else play it.
Yeah.
And I've spoken about him plenty of times, and at one point I'll have to have him on the actual show. The Pop Culturists. They're based in Geelong. Some friends of mine now. And I went over to go do their PlayStation podcast for the players, and then they were doing... This was when Crash just came back out for the PS4. Paul, stick around and we'll get on the stream tonight and we'll play. All right, cool, fine. I've not been on the other end of it before. And then we're playing through Crash, and anyone who's kind of played Crash before, I don't know, you played...
I played some of it.
There was Native Forest, one of the ones early on. It's meant to be it's like the hardest level in the game.
Yeah.
And I'd never played Crash up until then. Like, I hadn't played them on the PS1.
Wow.
It was just one of those ones for some reason I just missed. But I'm sitting there on stream and I played a couple of the earlier levels and it's pretty easy. And then I'm keeping an eye on the chat because I'm having to try and learn to juggle this thing. There's 2 of us sort of kind of passing the controller around. Makes it a bit easier, especially as it was my first time on camera for streaming.
Yeah.
And then I played Native Forest and I beat it first go.
Oh.
And this with the chat going, this is where it gets, like, this, it's so hard, blah, blah. Now, probably not, I'm sure this is probably not how you interact with your community, but man, did I rail on the Pop Culturist community for the next... Well, I haven't let him forget. on every little cameo appearance I've made in the year since, I just remind him every single time. Remember that time you doubted me and I smashed Native Forest and you guys said I couldn't do it well? you.
Yeah, see, that's the same thing.
But like, it was all funny. Like, they got it, and they were giving me footy score updates during the thing because Geelong was playing, and blah 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 blah.
And it's all about the community interaction. Like, it's fun. That's an inside joke within your community.
Well, that was a whole thing, and I'm fairly sure, like, any time I join them for a way out early in the year, and I'm sure if I go back again sometime down the track, it'll be the same old jokes, the same, like, something that Ryan doesn't normally have to do with when he's when he's streaming on his own, but with me there, all of a sudden it's, boy, you want to know the footy scores, you want to know this, hey, you're not going to beat Native Forest, go, fuck you, I beat it first go. All that sort of stuff. Like, it'll be a completely different direction for their stream.
Yeah, it's like, I love that stuff. Like, I'll be sitting there watching. I don't chat in every stream I watch. You know, you get a lot of lurkers who just don't really chat, and you know, occasionally you just get a random follow, but they'll never say anything.
Yeah,
they'll never say anything, and it's always great like that. You know, those guys down there who I'm now going to check out now that you've said that a couple of times, who I hadn't watched before.
Oh, the pop cultures.
Yeah, because and these people, you know, you just accidentally hear of or meet or find, and it's always interesting. There's always so many unique personalities, and I think probably more of a friend of yours, an acquaintance of mine, you know, Robbie Yodabite, used to...
that name doesn't ring a bell at all.
No, I think I met him through you and Damo. And
must have been specifically Damo, because the name doesn't ring any bells to me.
No,
maybe if you put the face in front, I'd know.
Oh yeah, I can show you one after. But he's like, you know, he streams exclusively one game called Eternal, and he, you know, 200-300 viewers every stream. But you know,
because it's a hardcore community for that particular game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, there's people that will just focus on one game, but then they become the center point of that game. Like Diablo 3, a game that not a lot of people watch now. I can't remember the name of this gentleman, but every time he streams, Diablo goes from like a couple of hundred viewers to 7,000 on one person. Because he is that guy. The expert. He's sponsored. You know, he's looked after by Blizzard, but that's the thing. Like, games.
That's only because he's given them so much. They give a bit back and they help him go. Keep going.
And that's the thing. Like, you know, there's people.
I'm sure when Diablo 4 inevitably gets announced, he'll have he'll know stuff beforehand, and he'll do a little stream.
Please announce Diablo 4. I miss.
I don't think it's all that far away, to be honest.
No, it's like
no inside word, no nothing like that.
You heard it here first, guys.
It's probably not that far away.
No, I'm hoping not, because I really want the next Diablo. I'm sick of playing this seasons. I just want a new one. Yeah. Or a Diablo 2 remake, if you're listening.
Blizzard, I know every one of your employees watches this show.
Yeah, Diablo 2 remake. Just doesn't even have to be brand new graphics. Just, yeah. Anyways. But yeah, and that's the thing. Like, look, I've said it a few times, but yeah, the biggest thing is sound. Just be nice. There's a lot of trolls. You're going to get 100 trolls to maybe 3 or 4 genuine viewers. Yeah. I'm lucky in that as I grew up, you know, I'm 24, the internet, I was around for a lot of the internet. We grew up in the golden age where trolling wasn't cyberbullying, it was just trolling and having a bit of a joke before the PC culture took over. So I'm really good at dealing with those people. You either tune them out or you just hit the button that mutes them. But there's a lot of people that I've watched who just let the trolls get to them, who try to fight back, and then next thing you know, you're the guy on the stream making...
And all of a sudden they're in America getting swatted.
Yeah, and next thing you know, you're the guy on the stream saying, like, you know, the chat's not being around, but you're the guy streaming who's saying, like, all this, like, just all this vulgar shit. And it's like, me, I just look at it and I go, if you want to be a dick, cool, I'm not going to respond. I might say hi, you know, try and have a quick chat, and then I'll just stop responding, and suddenly the guy's like, oh, this is boring, next stream.
Yeah.
And I've seen them catch some people. It's not fun, but it's fun for them. They have nothing better to do. It is what it is.
You just take it as it comes. You just ignore it, then it's like any sort of bullying. They go away.
Yeah, like, I mean, fighting back is very different to real life. In real life, you might fight back if the person's being physical, but this is over the internet. The worst thing they can do is type, you suck. Just don't respond. That's easy advice, probably common sense, but yeah, just, you're going to get them. You're definitely going to. I've had a group of 5 of them who were just saying the most racistly worst shit in my chat, and I didn't go along with it. I just talked to them, and I turned everything on them in the sense that I would be like, I don't know what that is and that, and 10 minutes later they've all followed me and are just having a genuinely good chat with me, because they're like, oh, we couldn't get you, but you seem pretty cool. And I'm like, that's because I was born in the same generation as you. I get the internet a bit more. You know, I'm used to this. I grew up in 4chan, not Reddit.
Yeah.
But
geez, times have changed.
Yeah, but and that's what it is, you know. I'm not sure. Have you got any questions or anything?
I was just going to start wrapping things up. So tell everyone about where they can find you.
So you can find me on twitch.tv/goldleader93.
Link will be down here at the bottom.
And then on Twitter, I'm Browe, BROWE1313, after the cancelled game Star Wars 1313. Rest in peace.
And you can find me at Paul James P2 on the website at Player2AU.
Yes.
One of the things for all of you viewing now is if you're seeing this in August, we are July now, aren't we?
Yeah, we're July.
August or later, then you're not a Player 2 patron. So maybe you should correct that.
Yes, you should.
This was the Player 2 Patreon exclusive for the month. You will see this a month later if you're not a patron. So thank you, Ro, for helping out with our patron special.
I'm honoured to be. Thank you, Patreon.
People
for watching.
paid to see this.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're not a patron, please consider becoming one. Patreon.com/player2au. Consider kicking a few bucks. You'll get early access to episodes, and then you'll get exclusives like this. And at the top tier, you can join us in the monthly Player 2 podcast. Visit the website, player2.net.au, reviews, previews, opinion pieces, the usual jazz. If you're watching on Patreon, you know all this stuff. I'd say hit like, subscribe, and share, but again, you're a patron, so please, if you're not, all those things, they're there. Notification bell, all that sort of jazz. Ro, thank you very much for joining me today. This is his setup, it's bloody impressive.
Yeah, a lot of time and care I've gone into it.
A lot of Star Wars, it's great.
Yes, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I've even got some basketball jerseys, but those aren't gaming related.
Slightly off camera.
Yeah.
You've seen the bottom end of them, but again, if you don't already do so, hit him up on Twitch there. He's doing some cool stuff, D&D or like actual video games as well.
Yeah, anything really. As long as it's a fun game. Hell,
do you take suggestions for games to play?
There's been people that have come in that have just said, can I join you in the game? And it's like, sure, if I own the game or I have it, I'm happy to play it. Like Rocket League, I had 3 people suggest to me. Next I'm playing Rocket League with them.
Rocket League's good fun.
Yeah, and I don't care who or what it is, I'm happy to play games with people. If they jump on and they're trolling and I just kick them straight out and I'm off back to what I'm doing. But NBA streams, I've had 6 people just play one-on-one matches with them for a couple of hours.
I assume you schooled them?
No.
Oh.
Okay. I lost 4 or 5 out of 9 times. But these it's fun. That's the thing. It's fun.
Shooting about 50-50.
Yeah. Mind you, my rating was like 4 or 5 less than them, so yeah, okay. I can make excuses.
And also, you're playing a game that clearly they've gone to watch, so they're probably right into it. They know this, like they've probably put more time in. Yeah, all right, I'll give you a pass on this.
And that Aussie versus American lag is very real.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, we could keep going for hours, couldn't we?
Yes, but all the details were there. So again, Patreon, the website, YouTube channel, Ro on Twitch, again, one more time.
Twitch.tv/goldleader93. Gold Leader like Star Wars.
So go and check that one out. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.